In the shadowed embrace of the earth, where the very soil pulses with life, could existence itself be a predetermined fate? A relentless cycle of toil and sacrifice from which there is no escape. You hatch a minuscule, soft-bodied minimum leaf ant, one of hundreds of your sisters, born into the bewildering darkness of an underground labyrinth. Nearby, the faint vibrations of other leafcutter ants tell you of two larger castes already at work. Distant echoes in this subterranean world. You are blind at first, your nascent form guided only by the complex tapestry of sense that defines your colony. Soon, hundreds more of your sisters, each as fragile as you, join your silent throng. Your purpose is simple, yet utterly vital. 2. Farm fungus, the lifeblood of your entire civilization. Unlike other ants, leafcutter ants don't consume leaves directly. Instead, your colony meticulously chews them into a nutrient-rich pulp, which serves as the fertile ground for your precious fungus. As a minimum leafcutter ant, your tiny mandibles are perfectly suited for this delicate task, pressing the verdant pulp into the subterranean gardens. The smallest deviation, even the wrong type of leaf, could poison the entire colony's food source, so your relentless vigilance is paramount. And though this fungus nourishes every other ant, you, the tireless farmer, will never taste it yourself. Your first test arrives swiftly, in the form of insidious parasitic mites, crawling through the intricate tunnels searching for vulnerable soft-bodied ants like you. You feel one, a horrifying tickle, as it scales your back, probing for a weakness. In your still soft exoskeleton, you freeze. Then, with a desperate surge of instinct, twist your fragile legs, scraping your back furiously against the rough tunnel wall. The mite loses its grip, tumbling into the dark. In an instant, another minimum leafcutter ant from nearby seizes the fallen mite in her powerful jaws, biting down with a swift, decisive crunch. Without hesitation, she drags the mite's lifeless remains far from the vulnerable larvae, ensuring the purity of your precious garden. Within a day, your sight sharpens, the world resolving into shades of dim light and complex patterns, and your body hardens, your exoskeleton a tougher shield. You join your sisters, a ceaseless tide of tiny bodies, tirelessly cleaning fungus gardens, meticulously grooming the helpless larvae, and ruthlessly removing any trace of mold or unwelcome parasites. Each minute movement, each painstaking action, ensures the survival of the fungus, for without it, your entire colony, your sisters, your queen, would simply starve. A few weeks later, deep within the humid confines of the brood chamber, you are meticulously grooming larvae and shifting delicate eggs. Nothing feels amiss until a strange alien scent pierces the familiar musk of the nest. It's not the comforting aroma of mold, nor the earthy scent of healthy fungus. Confused, you pause, your antennae twitching, searching the air for the source. You smell it again, stronger now, deeper within the pile of eggs. Gently, meticulously, you begin to dig, sifting through the fragile pearlescent spheres, checking each one for any anomaly. A few other minimum leafcutter ants sense your alarm and join you, their antennae sweeping the air. You reach the bottom of the pile and find them. 5 eggs unnaturally clumped together, emitting that subtly wrong scent. A parasitic ant, a silent infiltrator, must have slipped into the nest, just long enough to deposit her insidious clutch and vanish. If these parasitic ant eggs were to hatch, their offspring would, at first, blend seamlessly with your young. Then, insidiously, they would begin to feed on your defenseless larvae, perhaps even turning on the very workers assigned to raise them. One by one, you and your sisters lift the invading eggs, carrying them with grim determination to the colony's waste shaft, a dark, foul-smelling abyss. Back in the brood chamber, a primal urge for vigilance compels you. You recheck everything, scrubbing the chamber walls with your mandibles, tasting the air, meticulously inspecting every cluster of eggs for cracks, for inconsistencies, for any lingering trace of contamination. You find no more, but the alien scent lingers, a faint, unsettling memory that compels you to keep checking. Later, back in the sprawling fungus garden, you press a new piece of chewed pulp into the soft mycelial bed. 2 leafcutter ant workers pass you, burdened with discarded mold scraps. Another leafcutter ant bites a mite in half, dragging its lifeless remains away. The relentless cycle of life and death, of growth and decay, has not stopped, and neither can you. Yet, your role, as crucial as it is inherently dependent on the others beside you. You are not strong enough to cut or carry the heavy, unwieldy leaves that feed your fungus. But your media leafcutter ant sisters are. See you hatch again, this time as a media leafcutter ant, wider and more robust. The moment your legs cease their nascent trembling, you are already in motion. Somewhere far above, the colony's main entrance promises the surface, the source of the leaves your colony desperately needs. You climb, a determined ascent, past the smaller minimum leafcutter ants, diligently tending to eggs and larvae. Near the surface, you pass to imposing major leafcutter ants, massive soldiers standing silent guard just outside the tunnels. Their powerful mandibles a stark warning, they do not acknowledge your passage. Outside, the world explodes with blinding brightness. Leafcutter ants move in steady, purposeful lines along invisible, packed scent trails. Some are already burdened with emerald fragments, hauling them back to the welcoming darkness of the nest. Others, like you, embark on the ceaseless quest for new leaves. You follow a sturdy stem into the low, dense brush, your antennae delicately tracing the edge of a broad leaf. Only specific types will nurture your fungus, and this one, thankfully, is usable. You begin to cut, your powerful jaws shaking with the effort as you saw across its central vein. It is a slow, arduous process. When the piece finally detaches, you grip its base and begin the long, arduous drag back to the nest. Halfway back, the line of returning workers slows to an abrupt halt. You freeze, a primal alarm coursing through you as a shadow passes overhead. A predatory phorid fly is tracking the workers, a silent hunter of the exposed tit circles once. A sinister dance then lands nearby. You shift subtly, using the broadleaf fragment to conceal your body, a fragile shield against an insidious threat. One sting from this fly could embed a larva inside your own body, a fate too horrific to contemplate. The fly hovers for a few agonizing seconds. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it lifts off, resuming its aerial patrol. You continue your journey, your relief palpable. Shortly after, the welcoming silhouette of the tunnel entrance appears ahead. Major leafcutter ant soldiers, ever vigilant, check for threats, then allow your burdened form to pass. You drop the leaf just inside the entrance. Minimum leaf ants are already waiting, a flurry of activity, ready to process it, to chew it into the vital pulp, to add it to the ever-growing fungus garden. But you do not linger. You turn, your instinct pulling you back towards the harsh, bright world. Outside, for another leaf awaits. The scent trail, an invisible roadmap laid by countless sisters, is already present, and you follow it without hesitation. There is no break, no respite between deliveries, for the garden's insatiable hunger demands an endless supply. A few weeks later, while dragging a particularly heavy leaf across muddy, uneven ground, your leg snags beneath a stubborn root. You continue to move, fueled by an unwavering drive, but something is profoundly wrong. By the time you reach the familiar entrance of the tunnel, your walk is uneven, a subtle limp, and your grip on the leaf is noticeably weaker. Other leafcutter ant workers pass you, their purpose undeterred, for the colony does not pause for individual injuries. That night, your familiar route changes. You are taken off the cutting trail, your days of trips to the perilous surface abruptly over. Instead, you are sent down a new tunnel, one that descends past the thriving fungus garden, past the nurseries of the young, and towards the colony's grim waste chamber. The air here is different, thick with heat and a sour, acrid stench. You join a silent, solemn line of leafcutter ant workers, each burdened with dark, decaying material, discarded leaves, moldy fungus, the lifeless remains of larvae. You grip a clump of putrid rot and drag it towards the chamber's treacherous edge. The walls here are slick with unseen bacteria, a treacherous slime. A few steps too far, a single misstep, and you would not return. You release the waste, backing out slowly, your antennae sweeping the air, searching for any hint of insidious parasites that thrive in this foul environment. Behind you, a worker slips, tumbling partway into the noxious pile. You quickly extend one of your legs, grabbing her, pulling her out of the putrid depths. Her body is covered in patches of clinging mold, but she does not struggle, does not resist your aid. You are not alone down here. Other reassigned leafcutter ant workers rotate in and out, tirelessly cleaning the path, scraping away the insidious, spreading growth. You work in grim silence, managing the one thing the colony must keep utterly separate from everything else: death. You used to carry and cut, a vital cog in the machinery of sustenance, but you cannot fight. And the colony needs ants that do more than just farm work. So you hatch yet again. This time wider, heavier, and undeniably powerful. You are a major leafcutter ant, a formidable soldier, forged for one purpose: to stop anything that dares to trespass into your sacred colony. You stand sentinel near the tunnel entrance, just beneath the surface, the sole gateway into the sprawling underground city. If anything breaches your formidable presence, it can reach every vital part of the nest within. The trail outside is a bustling highway of life, workers moving in both directions, a constant flow of purpose. You stand utterly still, your powerful legs spread slightly, your formidable jaws half open, a silent, unyielding guardian. This is your role. You do not join the bustling traffic. From time to time, returning leafcutter ants approach too fast. Their eagerness potentially a threat. You raise your antennae, sampling the air around them, a silent olfactory inspection. Most are allowed through without physical contact, but one stops you cold. A media leafcutter ant drags a leaf towards the entrance. You smell something profoundly wrong. The leaf she carries bears no trace of your colony's unique scent. Its edges are suspiciously smooth, its surface unnaturally glossy. You step forward, a looming shadow blocking the tunnel completely. She hesitates, her antennae tapping the ground in a nervous tremor. She attempts to pass again, but you raise your massive head, your presence radiating an unspoken warning. And this time she drops the leaf immediately. You watch her back away, turning slowly down the slope, a cowed retreat. Another leafcutter ant worker swiftly grasps the abandoned leaf, dragging it towards the waste chamber, its foul destiny sealed. The scent was off. It could have poisoned the precious fungus garden, or worse, annihilated the vulnerable brood. Minutes later, a small group of leafcutter ants, not carrying leaves, approaches together. You raise your formidable body slightly, holding your position, an unwavering barrier. They slow immediately, the first one twitching her antennae, then backing up. The others move sideways, following her lead, forming a wide detour around your unyielding post. They carried nothing, but they understood the unspoken law. You do not push through. Not when a major leafcutter ant stands watch. The next day, after hours of unwavering vigilance at your post, the very ground begins to tremble beneath your feet. A new terrifying scent assaults your senses, a stench of aggression and alarm. It's not a lost worker. It's an attack, a full-scale invasion, and you are no longer merely guarding the entrance. You are the first line of defense. A wave of furious red bodies appears at the edge of your vision, moving too fast to be your own workers. They are fire ants, a relentless tide of invaders. You move forward, opening your formidable jaws. The first wave hits hard. 5 invaders break from the trail, sprinting directly towards the entrance. You lunge at the closest one, catching it mid-charge. Your powerful jaws crush its thorax with a single, sickening bite, but another, smaller, fire ant slips past you, disappearing down the tunnel's dark maw. Behind you, other major leafcutter ant soldiers respond to the alarm. 2 more rush up from below, their mandibles ready, but it's not enough. More fire ants are coming, dozens of them, a relentless burning tide. You cannot hold this tunnel alone. You hear a chilling sound from deeper within the nest. A high-pitched, desperate screaming. Somewhere below, the invader that slipped past you is already fighting inside the vulnerable brood chamber. Larvae cannot run. They stand no chance against such a brutal onslaught. You hesitate, a conflict of instinct. Do you abandon your vital post to protect the defenseless brood? Or do you hold the line, stopping the next devastating wave from entering? Before you can even make the agonizing choice, another fire ant charges at you, a blur of red aggression. You clamp down hard, but you are a second too late, and this fire ant slips through your defenses, vanishing into the darkness. Then, the scent changes. Dramatically. Reinforcements. 6 more major leafcutter ant soldiers charge up the tunnel from below. Their arrival, a surge of power. They block the entrance, their formidable jaws raised in a defiant wall. Together, you form an impenetrable barrier, allowing no other invader to pass. The attackers slow, their momentum broken. Some try to flank, desperate to find a way around, while others try to flee, but none of them make it far. One by one, they are dragged down, crushed, and unceremoniously pulled into the waste chamber. Their alien scent a bitter memory. By nightfall, the entrance is clear, littered with the grim debris of battle. The air still reeks of blood and alarm pheromones, a silent testament to the brutal struggle, but the fungus garden is safe. You held the line. You kept the colony alive. But someone had to build this entire magnificent structure first. A queen. Dozens of other queen leafcutter ants crawl out beside you, each nearly identical in your nascent regality. Your delicate diaphanous wings press tightly to your back, and the air around you is thick, almost shimmering, with a profound, undeniable signal, it's time to fly. In nearby darker chambers, the ephemeral male leafcutter ants are already climbing upwards, driven by their singular, desperate purpose. They will survive just long enough to find a queen, to fulfill their genetic destiny, and then, inevitably, to fall to their deaths. But your journey is only just beginning. You move with a determined urgency, pushing through the last familiar tunnels towards the beckoning light of the surface. Then, with a surge of newfound power, you climb out, spread your magnificent wings, and launch yourself into the boundless air. The sky above swarms with chaotic movement. Thousands of queen leafcutter ants and males swirling in a dizzying aerial ballet. Their pheromones mixing, chasing invisible wind currents. You fly higher, seeking space, seeking destiny. When a male leafcutter ant catches you mid-flight, his body presses against yours. And in mere seconds, the ancient ritual is complete. He falls, a spent husk, but you keep soaring. Another finds you, then another, but you do not resist. You store their precious liquid, a genetic treasure, deep within you. A while later, storm clouds begin to build in the distance. Dark, bruised masses against the horizon. The very air is changing, growing heavy with the promise of rain. You descend fast, your instincts guiding you, searching for damp, yielding soil. You land with a gentle thud and begin to dig furiously with your legs, kicking soil backward, a frantic, determined dance of creation. Once you are deep enough, safely hidden from the world above, you meticulously seal the tunnel behind you in act of finality. In the utter darkness of your new sanctuary, you carefully spit out a tiny, precious scrap of fungus. The vital seed of your future colony, which you have carried in your jaws since your momentous takeoff. It is still alive, a microscopic promise. You lay your first eggs, a fragile cluster, pressing them carefully near your nascent garden. For weeks, you subsist on your own wing muscles, slowly consuming them for sustenance, a profound act of self-sacrifice. If the delicate fungus dies, if the eggs fail to hatch, your monumental effort will have been in vain, your colony's destiny extinguished before it truly begins. But they don't. Your first daughters emerge soon after, tiny, perfect minimum leafcutter ants. They immediately begin to clean you. Their new queen, they meticulously feed the precious fungus, their innate strength already contributing to the colony's growth. And most importantly, they tirelessly expand the chamber, excavating new tunnels, creating new spaces. You will never leave this nest again. It will grow around you, a sprawling subterranean metropolis built by your offspring. Layer by painstaking layer for the rest of your remarkably long life. But even the most magnificent colonies do not last forever, and not every threat comes from the outside. Skip forward around 10 to 15 years. You are still the majestic queen leafcutter ant, the heart and soul of your thriving empire. But something, a subtle, insidious shift, has begun to ripple through the colony. A decline your myriad daughters are powerless to fix. It starts imperceptibly. Fewer leafcutter ant workers return from their tireless foraging trips to the surface. Then, the waste chamber, a dark testament to the colony's vitality, begins to fill faster than it can be cleaned, its stench growing more pervasive. The fungus gardens, once verdant and meticulously tended, now grow unevenly, some chambers falling, ominously silent, their life-giving mycelium fading. Your body, though aged, remains fertile, still producing eggs, but the colony around you is undeniably thinning. Too many leafcutter ants are working, but not enough are replacing them. The delicate balance, the very equilibrium of your empire, has begun to tip. Leaf fragments arrive slower, the flow of vital nutrients dwindling. Grooming falls behind, dust and debris accumulating. The very color of the fungus garden changes, a subtle, sickly hue creeping across its once vibrant surface. You release another batch of precious eggs, an act of desperate hope, waiting for the dwindling minimum leafcutter ants to collect them. Somewhere near the surface, a major disaster strikes. The colony's main entrance collapses. Perhaps from torrential rain, perhaps from some other unforeseen cataclysm. It doesn't matter. The vital scent trail, the invisible highway connecting your colony to the world above, vanishes, and your returning foragers wander off course, lost or never return at all. Deep below, within the very heart of your declining empire, mold begins its insidious spread. A virulent spore colony blooms across the side of a fungus bed, an aggressive alien growth. A few media leafcutter ant workers try to scrape it away, but they are slow, their movements hampered by the rot and the oppressive sour winds that now permeate the chamber. Larvae are left unattended, their helpless forms vulnerable. Old waste mixes indiscriminately with food scraps, a chaotic, unhygienic mess. Parasites, the insidious mites and predatory beetles, sensing the weakness, begin to return in force. You cannot see them from your royal chamber, but you feel the pervasive shift, the breaking of the intricate scent map, the spiraling descent into chaos. You keep laying eggs, a biological imperative, for that is all you can do. At some point, the tunnel outside your chamber, once a constant murmur of activity, goes utterly quiet. You have witnessed thousands of your daughters hatch, grow, and die, a ceaseless tide of life and loss. And now, there are no more footsteps, no more vibrations. The fungus lies half dead, a decaying monument to a bygone era. Your last eggs remain unturned, uncollected. You have never left this chamber, and you never will. Your magnificent colony, your life's work, ends here, with you alone in the dark, surrounded by soil and silence. Life as a leafcutter ant might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild. Check out the video and see for yourself.